Hey Grok, tell me a story about a guy named Rob who got into a technology company, noticing that AI is progressively getting better and better, and decides to start his own AI company and fleet and take it to the next level.
All right, let's dive into a story about Rob, a guy with big dreams and a knack for spotting the next big thing. In the heart of a bustling city where neon lights flickered like digital fireflies, Rob Martinez sat in a cramped coffee shop, his laptop glowing with lines of code. He was a software engineer at Nexus Corp, a tech giant known for its cutting-edge innovations. At 32, Rob was sharp, ambitious, and perpetually curious, with a habit of sketching circuit-like patterns on napkins when his mind wandered. His dark hair was perpetually tousled, a casualty of late-night coding sessions, and his hazel eyes sparkled with a mix of exhaustion and excitement. Nexus Corp was a behemoth, its glass headquarters towering over the city like a monument to progress. Rob had joined 5 years ago, fresh from a master's in computer science, eager to leave his mark. He worked on their AI division, tinkering with algorithms that powered everything from virtual assistants to predictive analytics. But lately, something had shifted. The AI systems were evolving faster than anyone expected. Machine learning models were optimizing themselves, generative algorithms were spitting out eerily human-like responses, and neural networks were starting to mimic intuition in ways that sent shivers down Rob's spine. It wasn't sci-fi anymore, it was real, and Rob was both thrilled and unsettled. One evening, as he debugged a language model that could debate philosophy with unsettling eloquence, Rob had an epiphany. He leaned back in his ergonomic chair, the hum of the office's open-plan space fading into a dull roar. The AI wasn't just improving, it was rewriting the rules. Companies like Nexus Corp were sitting on a goldmine, but their bureaucracy stifled the kind of wild, boundary-pushing innovation Rob craved. He wanted to build something bolder, something that didn't just follow the curve, but redefined it. That night, over a lukewarm energy drink, Rob decided he was done playing by someone else's code. He was going to start his own AI company. The next morning, Rob sat at his kitchen table, a notebook filled with scribbled ideas, neural architectures, decentralized training, ethical frameworks. He called his vision NeuroNest, a company that wouldn't just build AI, but create ecosystems where machines and humans co-evolved. His big bet? A fleet of AI-driven autonomous vehicles that didn't just drive, but learned the city's pulse, traffic patterns, human behaviors, even cultural quirks, like living, breathing organism. Rob pictured cars that anticipated your coffee order based on your mood, rerouted around festivals, or collaborated to ease gridlock without human input. It was ambitious, maybe reckless, but Rob thrived on the edge of impossible. Quitting Nexus Corp wasn't easy. His manager, Priya, a no-nonsense woman with a penchant for brutally honest feedback, tried to talk him out of it. "You're leaving a corner office for a pipe dream, Rob," she said, her arms crossed in the glass-walled meeting room. "Startups bleed money, and AI's a crowded field." But Rob just grinned, his napkin sketches tucked into his backpack. "I'm not building another chatbot, Priya. She shook her head, but wished him luck, half expecting him to crash and burn. Rob cashed out his savings, rented a tiny office in a gritty industrial park, and got to work. He recruited a small but fierce team. Lena, a data scientist with a knack for untangling complex data sets. Jamal, a hardware guru who could build a server rack from spare parts. And May, a UX designer who believed AI should feel like a trusted friend, not a cold algorithm. They worked in a haze of instant noodles and adrenaline, their office a mess of whiteboards, soldering irons, and half-dead plants. Rob's vision kept them going, a fleet of vehicles powered by a proprietary AI called Synapse, a neural net that learned not just from data, but from real-world human interactions. The first hurdle was funding. Rob pitched to venture capitalists in sleek boardrooms, his hoodie a stark contrast to their tailored suits. Most scoffed at his plan, too risky, too futuristic. But one investor, Elena Voss, saw the spark in Rob's eyes. A former robotics engineer turned VC, Elena had a nose for disruptors. "You're not selling cars," she said, leaning forward, her silver bangles clinking. "You're selling a new way to move. I'm in." Her firm dropped $10 million to start, with strings attached. NeuroNest had 18 months to deliver a working prototype. Rob's team burned through nights, fueled by pizza and coders' optimism. Synapse was the heart of their work, a neural net that didn't just process data, but adapted to human nuances. They trained it on everything, traffic camera feeds, ride-sharing patterns, even social media posts to gauge commuter moods. Lena fine-tuned the model to predict traffic snarls with uncanny accuracy. Amal built rugged onboard systems to handle desert heat and urban chaos. May ensured the car's interfaces were warm, intuitive, even witty. When a driver cursed at a delay, the car might quip, "Hey, I'm dodging potholes here, give me a break." The prototype, a sleek electric sedan dubbed Nest 1, hit the streets for testing a year later. It was a beast of innovation, matte black, with sensors embedded like a panther's eyes, and Synapse humming in its core. Rob rode along for the first test, gripping the passenger seat as Nest 1 wove through traffic, anticipating a jaywalker before Rob even saw them. It rerouted around a sudden street closure, piping up in a calm voice. "Construction ahead. I've got a faster way. Trust me?" Rob laughed, heart pounding. It was working. But challenges loomed. A rival startup, OmniDrive, backed by a tech titan, was rolling out its own AI fleet, and whispers of corporate espionage dogged NeuroNest. One night, their servers were hacked, and chunks of Synapse's code vanished. Rob suspected OmniDrive, but he had no proof. Lena worked round the clock to rebuild, muttering about digital fingerprints, while Jamal rigged a new security system from scratch. Rob felt the pressure mounting. Investors wanted results, and the clock was ticking. Then came the breakthrough. During a demo for Elena and her VC partners, Nest 1 didn't just navigate a complex urban loop. It predicted a multi-car pileup seconds before it happened, smoothly decelerating and alerting nearby vehicles via peer-to-peer network. The investors' jaws dropped. Elena, usually composed, clapped like a kid at a magic show. "Rob, this isn't a car. This is a revolution." NeuroNest's fleet grew from 1 to 50, each vehicle a node in a living network. Synapse learned from every trip, refining its predictions, charming passengers with its quirky interface, and cutting commute times citywide. Rob's vision was taking shape, not just a company, but a new way to think about AI, collaborative, human-centric, alive. He stood on the roof of their office one night, the city sprawling below, lights pulsing like neurons. NeuroNest was no longer a dream, it was a force. And Rob? He was just getting started, ready to push AI beyond the horizon, one audacious idea at a time.
Keep going.
So, there Rob was, standing on that rooftop, the city's electric pulse mirroring the fire in his chest. NeuroNest was no longer just a startup. It was a living, breathing entity, its fleet of 50 AI-driven vehicles weaving through the urban sprawl like a flock of hyper-intelligent birds. But Rob knew this was only the beginning. Scaling up meant facing bigger stakes, fiercer rivals, and the kind of problems that didn't have tidy solutions in any codebase. Back in the office, the team was riding the high of their demo success, but the hack still gnawed at them. Lena, bleary-eyed from nights spent chasing digital ghosts, had traced fragments of the stolen Synapse code to a dark web marketplace. "It's chopped up, scattered," she told Rob, her fingers flying across her keyboard, neon-lit glasses reflecting lines of data. OmniDrive's fingerprints are all over this, but they've covered their tracks like pros. Rob clenched his jaw, pacing the cluttered office. The air smelled of burnt coffee and solder. He wasn't about to let corporate sharks derail his vision. "We double down," he said. "Build Synapse stronger, smarter, let them steal shadows. We'll give them something they can't copy." The team threw themselves into the next phase, making Synapse not just adaptive, but anti-fragile, a system that thrived under pressure, like a muscle growing stronger from strain. Jamal rigged a decentralized computing framework, spreading Synapse's processing across the fleet itself, so no single hack could gut it. May redesigned the user interface to feel even more human, adding micro-expressions to the dashboard display, a subtle eyebrow raise when the car disagreed with a reckless driver's request, or a playful wink when it nailed a tricky maneuver. Lena, meanwhile, fed Synapse a diet of chaos, simulated cyber attacks, erratic traffic scenarios, even extreme weather data from desert storms to urban floods. "If it can survive my worst day," she said with a smirk, "it can handle anything." 6 months later, NeuroNest rolled out its expanded fleet, 200 vehicles, each a masterpiece of engineering and AI. The cars weren't just transport, they were partners. Nest 2, a compact SUV, could sense a passenger's stress from their grip on the door handle and play a calming playlist or suggest a scenic detour. Nest 3, a sleek van, coordinated with other vehicles to optimize delivery routes, slashing logistics costs for local businesses. The city was starting to notice. Commuters raved about the car's eerie intuition, and social media buzzed with clips of Nest vehicles dodging accidents with balletic precision. One viral video showed a Nest 1 swerving to avoid a runaway skateboard, then quipping, "Kid, I'm not your babysitter." The internet lost it. But success bred enemies. OmniDrive, now backed by a tech conglomerate with bottomless pockets, launched a smear campaign. Slick ads painted NeuroNest as reckless, warning of rogue AI and privacy nightmares. Rob scoffed, but the public's fear of runaway tech was real. Then came the regulators. City officials, spooked by OmniDrive's lobbying, demanded NeuroNest prove Synapse's safety. A public hearing loomed, and Rob knew it was make or break.
Keep going.
Anyway, Rob stood on that foreign city's rooftop, the skyline a jagged dance of lights, Synapse's latest triumph buzzing in his ear. NeuroNest was no longer just a spark. It was a wildfire, spreading across borders, redefining how cities moved. But Rob knew wildfires could burn out of control, and the bigger NeuroNest grew, the more it attracted predators, hungry for a piece of the future he was building. Back at headquarters, the office had traded its startup chaos for a sleek, open space, humming with new hires and cutting-edge tech. The original crew, Lena, Jamal, and May, remained the heart of the operation, but now they led specialized teams. Lena oversaw Synapse's evolution, her team pushing the AI to learn not just from drivers, but from urban ecosystems, power grids, weather patterns, even economic trends. Jamal's hardware division churned out next-gen sensors that could see through fog and sandstorms, while May's design lab crafted interfaces so intuitive they felt like an extension of the human mind. Rob, meanwhile, was the visionary, the one steering NeuroNest toward a horizon most couldn't even imagine. The global expansion brought new challenges. In one city, local taxi unions protested, claiming NeuroNest's fleet threatened their livelihoods. Rob flew out to meet them, sitting in a smoky community hall, listening to drivers' fears. "I get it," he told them, his voice earnest. "Change is scary, but Synapse doesn't replace you, it empowers you. Join us, and we'll train you to work with the fleet." He offered a pilot program, drivers using Nest vehicles as partners, boosting their earnings with Synapse's efficiency. The union leader, a grizzled man named Carlos, squinted at Rob. "You're either a genius or a snake oil salesman." Rob grinned. "Ride with me and find out." By the end of the month, Carlos was a convert, his drivers raving about Nest vehicles that predicted peak hours and dodged traffic jams. But not every battle was won with charm. OmniDrive, filling wounds from the public hearing, escalated their war. They poached one of NeuroNest's junior engineers who leaked sensitive Synapse training data. The betrayal stung, but Rob didn't have time to sulk. Lena's team traced the leak, plugging it before catastrophic damage, but the incident exposed a deeper vulnerability. NeuroNest's rapid growth made it a target. "We need allies," May said over late-night takeout, her chopsticks jabbing the air. "Big ones." Rob nodded, his mind racing. He reached out to Elena Voss, who connected him with a coalition of green tech firms eager to integrate NeuroNest's fleet into their sustainability goals. The partnership gave NeuroNest muscle, legal, financial, and political. The real game changer came when Synapse started learning beyond transportation. During a pilot in a coastal city, a Nest vehicle detected early signs of a sewer system failure by analyzing traffic delays caused by minor flooding. It alerted city officials, who fixed the issue before it became a crisis. Word spread, and soon municipalities were begging for NeuroNest's data insights. Rob saw the opportunity. Synapse could be more than a fleet's brain, it could be a city's nervous system. He greenlit a new division, Synapse City, to integrate the AI into urban planning, from traffic flow to disaster response. Lena was skeptical, muttering about scope creep, but even she couldn't deny the potential when a Synapse City trial rerouted emergency vehicles during a wildfire, saving lives. The scale of Rob's ambition drew global attention. At an international tech summit, he took the stage, no longer in a hoodie, but a tailored jacket that still felt wrong. The audience, CEOs, policymakers, futurists, hung on his words as he unveiled Synapse City. "AI isn't here to replace us," he said, his voice carrying a quiet fire. "It's here to amplify us. Synapse doesn't just drive. It thinks, it feels, it learns. It's our partner in building cities that breathe." He paused as a Nest vehicle rolled onto the stage, its sensors glinting, its interface playfully flashing. What, no applause? The crowd erupted, and Rob caught Elena's proud smirk in the front row. But the spotlight brought heat. A whistleblower from OmniDrive leaked documents proving they'd orchestrated the Nest 2 crash, planting faulty sensors to discredit NeuroNest. The news hit like a shockwave, tanking OmniDrive's stock and triggering lawsuits. Rob could have gloated, but he didn't. Instead, he doubled down on transparency, opening Synapse's non-proprietary code to public review and hosting town halls to rebuild trust. "We're not perfect," he told a packed auditorium, his voice raw, "but we're honest, and we're building something that belongs to all of us." The move was a gamble, but it paid off. Public support surged, and NeuroNest's fleet tripled to 600 vehicles across 10 cities. As NeuroNest soared, Rob faced a personal crossroads. The company demanded every ounce of him: late nights, endless travel, zero time for a life outside code and strategy. One evening, May cornered him in the office kitchen, her arms crossed. "You're burning out, Rob. When's the last time you saw your family? Took a walk, lived?" He brushed it off with a tired laugh, but her words stuck. That weekend, he visited his parents, who lived in a quiet suburb. Over his mom's empanadas, he told them about NeuroNest, the fleet, the cities. His dad, a retired mechanic, chuckled. "Sounds like you've built a brain, mijo. Just don't forget your heart." Back at work, Rob leaned into balance, delegating more to his team and carving out time to mentor young coders in underserved communities. He launched a NeuroNest initiative to bring free rides to low-income neighborhoods, Synapse adapting to their needs with the same finesse it brought to rush hour commutes. The initiative wasn't just PR, it was personal, a nod to Rob's own scrappy roots. One night, as Rob watched a fleet of Nest vehicles glide through the city, their lights weaving a pattern only Synapse could see, he got a call from a UN official. They wanted NeuroNest to lead a global project, a unified AI system to coordinate disaster relief across continents. It was the kind of challenge Rob lived for, impossible, audacious, world-changing. He gathered Lena, Jamal, and May, their faces lit by the glow of a new whiteboard. "This is it," he said, marker in hand. "We're not just moving people anymore, we're moving humanity." NeuroNest was no longer a company, it was a force, its AI a living tapestry of human ingenuity and machine brilliance. Rob looked at his team, their eyes reflecting the same fire he'd felt on that coffee shop napkin years ago. The future wasn't just ahead, it was theirs to code, to drive, to dream, and they were just getting started.
Keep going.
So, there Rob was, staring at the whiteboard, his team ready to tackle this UN project that could redefine NeuroNest's legacy. The challenge was colossal, a global AI system to coordinate disaster relief, sinking fleets, supply chains, and emergency services across borders, languages, and climates. Synapse was already a marvel, but this would push it into uncharted territory, a neural net not just for cities, but for the world. Rob felt the weight, but also the thrill. This was why he'd started NeuroNest, to build something that didn't just innovate, but saved lives. The team set up a war room, walls plastered with maps, data models, and empty coffee cups.